Can we beat Chimps Mode using Geraldo's pet bunny? Now that is the question that we're going to try and answer today. And first off, let me explain to you guys how this whole thing works and why we're attempting this. So the way that this pet rabbit works is, well, let me just sell Geraldo and let me show you guys what's happening. So a Geraldo level 10, you get one of these guys in stock, and so when you place it, it doesn't exactly do anything. I mean, let me just send in a couple of, I guess it's a couple of red balloons, and you can see that Geraldo is the only one attacking, and this bunny is not doing anything. So the idea behind this thing is that you want to, let me actually level up Geraldo a little bit, and let me get all these other ones. And the idea behind this is that you're supposed to buy throughout the rounds, and as they restock, you're supposed to buy 4 of them, and then when you buy 4 of them, they combine into one, what is known as, I guess, the Bunny Paragon, or maybe some, I think the official name is the Killer Paragon. But what this thing can do now is it can attack by itself, and it does this. So it can jump throughout the map, and it does a lot of damage by itself. And it also has a very cool property. It works like the avatar of Rat Druid, if you guys know how that one works. And that is, the more balloons there are on screen, the more damage it does. So that makes it have a little bit more scaling power for the late game. And this is going to be our main DPS, which we're going to try and use to beat Chimps Mode. Okay, so let's try and do this. I bought this boomerang, and I'm only going to be buying towers that we're going to be using later on as support towers, because the main DPS is supposed to be the bunny, and it has a huge range. It can cover almost the entirety of the map, but we need to get to Geraldo. That's the most important thing, so that we can unlock him as soon as possible, and then we can get the levels going as soon as possible. Now let's place Geraldo over here. We have the money now, because you can only place the rabbits around him, and that's going to be kind of the initial radius of which they're going to roam around, and then eventually this is going to be kind of the center of the map which they're going to be covering. But I think that they can kind of roam towards the left because they have a huge radius by themselves. So only buying and only focusing on these support-ish type of towers. Let me just actually move this guy on first. Are we gonna snipe that thing? Yeah, there we go. Good job. And towers like the boomer, maybe we're gonna get a bomb. We're gonna get the glue for sure. You know what? Maybe actually I should be going for a glue like right now. So let me just buy this thing, get the bigger gloves. This is gonna be eventually a relentless glue. Might even get more of these guys. And it's just gonna be these support towers that are going to make the bunny's life a lot easier when we get the Bunny Paragon, and when essentially its time comes to defend, basically. Okay, so let's get the Kylie Boomerang. This thing is actually kind of nice in defending. And let me get ready for one of these. Yes, that barely leaked. Yes. Oh my god, we got it. That's very good. That's very good. I mean, Geraldo has an answer to everything, guys. This is just the perfect hero. This is my favorite hero, by the way. I mean, honestly, it's round 32, and we only have a 0-1-0 glue, and this is 0-2-3 boomerang. And these guys are defending just fine. And let me just talk to you guys a little bit more about the Bunny Paragon, because that might be an unconventional tower that you guys might not have seen. So that thing doesn't care about obstacles. That's one of the advantages that it has. So for example, even if we don't remove this obstacle, it's still going to be able to attack through it. And then another thing is that it cannot be buffed, as far as I know, by any other stuff. So giving it an alchemist, it's not going to look like an overclock. That's not going to do anything for it. And it's just gonna be it. So the way that we're gonna help the bunny basically win this, or at least try and win this, is by buying all the other support towers. So the support towers are gonna do a little bit of damage by themselves. So we're talking about, you know, maybe the relentless glue, but we're talking about towers like the more oppressor. Maybe I wanted to get this top at balloon impact, which actually got a huge buff. It was a while back, but I haven't found use for it, because generally I just go for the glues and the boomerangs. But I think that we can find good use in it now, in the fact that it's just gonna stall balloons and it's gonna keep pushing them back. And this Bunny Paragon, I think that it can maybe not one shot, but it can 2-shot super ceramics. I'm not even kidding about that one. It's a really good tower. Okay, so let's see what we can do versus these guys that are coming out. So this is gonna be huge waves of these pink balloons. And does the Kylie, it seems to have enough pierce. Let me just give it camo detection for these green balloons. And maybe we want to drop, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna drop this glue over here, and this should be fine for round 36. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're defending, but we need to start getting real with ourselves and the things that we're doing. So let me get this thing. This is going to be a 3-2-0 really big bombs, and then I'm going to keep it like this. This does 3 damage a shot. I think that's going to be fine. I want to put a little bit of money into this thing, into the more press, because we're going to have the mob incoming. And I think I'm just going to save the money. So Geraldo's level 7. He's going to be level 8 in a second, and we might even buy the remainder of the level, just because I kind of want to get the Bunny Paragon as soon as possible. But let's see how I do versus the Moab, and maybe we are going to need to buy something. I'm actually kind of thinking maybe I'm probably going to have to buy this thing if we don't deal with the ceramics, but let's see how everything goes. So let me get ready with the glue, I think. Oh my god, this thing isn't even popping. Okay, so let me put the glue over here, I think. Is that going to be fine? Everything is getting glued. Oh no, this guy is way too strong actually. This is a really unconventional defense, isn't it? I mean, I'm just looking at my towers. 320 bomb shooter and a 024 boomerang. If I get this thing to 420 and I give these guys just like the most basic buffs like an alchemist in a village, you guys know that these guys are gonna defend like probably well into the 50s, maybe even going to the 60s, right? I mean, they're so good. Let's actually give these guys the things that they need. So this is going to be camo detection plus a little bit of primary buffs, and I feel like that is what we're going to stop for now. Round 49, these balloons are kind of making it a little bit further, so let me buy this thing as a 022, and you know what, maybe even, you know what, maybe I'm just going to go for the Moab glue right now, I think, because why not? I mean, this is a very nice combo, the 023 and the 024, in this case, the one that we have, boomerang. I'm keeping it off first, but this is going to go on strong later on when the Moab class balloons appear. And let me just check Geraldo's level. So level 9 and 7k currently needed for the next level. So when is this gonna be, like round 53, I think, something like that? Okay, here we go, round 54, and we can buy the first one. Well, one of them on screen doesn't do anything. Maybe they should kind of make it have an aura, or maybe attack just a little bit, just to kind of let people know that, hey, this thing is gonna do anything. But for now, we're just gonna be chilling. So every 3 rounds, oh, never mind, we sniped it. So every 3 rounds we get a restock on this thing, so we have to be buying this as soon as possible because they have a duration of 10 rounds. So if you don't buy them as soon as possible, you might miss the window on it. There we go, the first restock. So we have 2 on the field currently, and I'm probably gonna keep the money actually, although we do have a lot of money for now. So let me, you know what, let me just buy the balloon impact now, and let's just see these balloons. Oh my god, look at them just getting kept in place. Oh my god, these guys, this is such a cool strategy. We should probably do something like this, maybe like primary only chimps or something like that. But yeah, here we go, we have 1 more bunny restock. So this is unfortunately not probably gonna be happening as of round 63. But if we do manage to get it before round 63, then that means that the bunny is just gonna one-shot all those ceramic waves. And I'm not even kidding about that one. It actually does a lot of damage. So are we gonna deal with this thing? I feel like, yeah, as soon as we blow it to these small balloons, then just the balloon impact is gonna take care of everything. So yeah, there we go. What can we do to kind of help these guys out? Because I think there's 1 more round remaining. So or do we just keep them like this? I mean, you know what? I don't want to be placing Jerry's Fire on anyone, so maybe we just do a glue or something like that. Is that going to be enough? Let's just see how these guys do actually by themselves. So this is just a 024 boomerang. I mean, the thing is, it triggers the effect a little bit more often, but it like doesn't push that further back. It doesn't have a lot of pierce. And hold up. No, this is not looking good actually. So I should probably, or I mean, I'm saying that, and these guys are actually holding. You know what? I'm just gonna keep a Blade Maelstrom in my hand, and then we're gonna see if this thing pops. I mean, this is looking kind of close. If this thing pops, yeah, there we go. I think that's GG. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And we do get the bunny for round 63. And here we go, let's combine them, and there we go. That is our main DPS, which is gonna keep flying around the map, and it's just gonna keep wiping balloons by itself. So how do you buff this thing? Well, this thing is gonna keep buffing itself. So the more balloons there are, the more RBE, which stands for Red Balloon Equivalent, which basically means the more balloons there are on the screen, the more damage it's gonna keep doing. And look at it go. Look at the Bunny Paragon just clean house. That is so good. Okay, so this is a very sad sight. Look at this. The glue is just outside the range of the village. I thought this was gonna be in when I was gonna buy the bigger radius, but it seems like it's not. So I'm going to have to do this, and this is hopefully gonna expand this thing's range. And now the glue should be in range. There we go. I kind of wanted to buy the relentless glue, that's why I'm doing this. Let me switch it to first. I think that's a better one for the relentless glue, and then maybe we're gonna need to buy like a glue here. Let's not do the same mistake twice. So this Bunny Paragon is gonna need a lot of help, but I'm going to buy relentless glue at the back as well. That's a BFB and a bunch of fortified ceramics, by the way, and this thing is one-shotting everything. It's one-shotting fortified ceramics. Yeah, it's really that good, honestly. And there wasn't a lot of RB on that round, so that's his base damage. Like, it has enough base damage to one-shot ceramics by itself. So 45 Moabs, let's see how we do on this one with a bunch of BFBs behind them. I mean, it's going to start increasing his damage by a little bit, which should mean that, yeah, there we go. With the Relentless Glue pop, actually, all of these ceramics seem to be getting stunned, like over here even. Yeah, it's destroying these rounds completely. It's going to be interesting to see how it does in 76, but this round is regarded as one of the more difficult ones, but oh yeah, this thing doesn't even care. Something that I noticed is that it didn't kind of wipe 76 in one go. It kind of took a couple of shots or a couple of hits before it popped, so that tells me that this thing doesn't have a lot of pierce, it looks like, but it does have a lot of damage, and the damage keeps increasing. So the only thing that this thing is gonna need is basically for us to buy time, and that's it. So if we just stall and hold the balloons for long enough, it's just gonna hopefully clean everything out. Let me just check the damage that it does onto the ZOMG. So it is 540, 587. That's like 47 damage that it does onto the ZOMG. So that is with the RB bonus. It doesn't sound like a lot, I'm gonna be honest, but you know what? It's just gonna keep going. It's only one balloon, so let's see how it does versus these other free play rounds. Yeah, this round should not be and as I'm saying that, it's the same issue, guys. It's a lot of balloons coming on screen, and then this thing is just kind of starts crumbling because it doesn't have a lot of pierce. But these super ceramics, I mean, is it one-shotting them? Let me just watch for a second. I don't think it's one-shotting them. I think it's two-shotting super ceramics, actually. Let me just watch when the balloons come kind of closer to our other towers. So yeah, it's doing a couple of shots, it's bouncing around, but I think it's two-shotting them, actually. So as soon as these, let's just watch on these mobs. So that is one. Yeah, I think that's two-shotting them. And this should be the case with these fortified super ceramics as well. Like maybe three-shotting them at max. Okay, so fortified ceramics are going to come out of these guys. Let's see how it's going to do. I mean, I kind of saw, but I think it was two-shotting them. So let's see as soon as these guys pop. There we go. I think, yeah, that looks like a two-shot, but it looks like a pierce cap getting overloaded, and I kind of want to give it help from some other towers. So for example, I really wanted to buy this thing. I wanted to buy a 250 because this thing slows balloons down a little bit, and it's going to hold ceramics in place, which is, and not just ceramics, it's the small balloons as well, which the rabbit seems to be struggling. So as soon as these guys pop, as you guys saw, yeah, it just needs these balloons to get held in place. And we kind of checked how much damage it did versus round 80, but let's see how much damage it does versus 2 ZOMG. So that's 644 to 6, what was that, 644 to 697, I think it was. I mean, that's about 50 damage. That's a little bit more than it did on 80, but you can see the damage bonus starting to slowly ramp up, especially because this is around 85. So I think the max bonus is going to start happening around like 94, 96, 98 for sure. And then round 100, it's actually not going to have that much bonus damage. You know what? We now have a lot of stall for these guys. So a bunch of 45 balloons incoming. This is probably going to be the biggest test for this thing. When the 45 ceramics and when the 45 ceramics start breaking, actually. But as I say that, I'm not seeing anything yet past this kind of the relentless glue region, it looks like. So, you know what? Let's check the damage again. This is round 87, so it's 400, 454, and we have 4 ZOMGs. So, let's see how much damage it does now when these guys enter its range. Oh my god, I kind of missed it. Okay, so let's just kind of be slow about this, and it's... No, that's way too much. I don't even know. It's like 200 something damage, maybe like 250, 270 damage that it does now. But I think it's just hitting 4 ZOMGs now, so that kind of explains it. But let's say it's 270, so that would be like how much? That's like easily over 60 damage per closer to 70 damage per balloon. So that's a nice damage. A bunch of 45 mobs. This is before the DDTs come, and I'm kind of concerned about DDTs, I'm going to be honest with you guys. So if this thing is not, and I don't think it's going to be popping DDTs like kind of fast, so we're going to need to find a solution for DDTs, and that's probably going to be either using some I don't know, like absolute 0 plus no storm abilities, or just straight up go for the balloon crush, but we don't have the money for it yet. So maybe I'm gonna try and let's see if we can beat this round. Yeah, we can. I was kind of trying to say if we can beat this round without using the absolute 0, because we might need it on the next one with the DDTs, and it seems like we did. So let's see if we're gonna need the ability versus DDTs and how it generally does versus them. I feel like these guys are going to be a problem. Oh, they're absolutely going to be a problem. This is only around 90, so imagine something like 95. Yeah, these guys are just going to walk through, aren't they? Okay, now this is the perfect round to see how much damage it actually does versus 45 ceramics. So these guys, it's round 91. They're pretty ramped up with their HP, and it looks like it's two-shotting them. Yeah, it looks like it's two-shotting them. So that's a lot of damage, I'm going to be honest, but... yeah, it's still the same problems that we had. It's gonna be the DDTs is the main issue, and I'm especially worried about round 99. So unless you're buying the Balloon Crush, yeah, this thing is absolutely gonna struggle. And I feel like if we buy the Balloon Crush, it's gonna make things a little bit too easy. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna let it struggle, and I'm gonna try and kind of adjust with some other towers. Maybe like buying some Snowstorms as a Sabos is gonna be the plan. Okay, so 92 seems to be walking in. That was a bunch of ZOMGs, and these guys are gonna pop it. They're gonna kind of make it. They're gonna go outside of the range of the Absolute Zero's aura. And we might need to use the ability, but again, similarly to round 90, I don't want to do it. So I hope that we clean house now. and I'm gonna be buying a bunch of boomerangs actually, because I still, you know what, I'm kind of thinking of not buying the boomerangs because I want to have all the pops go into the rabbit. It has 680,000, it's almost at 700k pops. This other boomer is at 180, and then this thing is at 92, so the majority of the pops are still going with the rabbit. It's just that if I buy boomers, then they're gonna clean house with all of the mob class balloons. Okay, so let's see how we do now versus these deities. These ones, okay, so these ones are we're doing a lot better because there's a lot more RBE on the screen thanks to these BFBs at the back. So we do a lot more damage to them, but I don't think that's going to be the case on 95 because it's just going to be like deities and mobs, and those guys generally don't have a lot of RP. Okay, so in comes 94. We are still two-shotting these ceramics, it looks like, and it looks like these BFBs, they're not even an issue. I mean, these, I think I'm just going to use the ability to kind of slow everyone down and just pause for a second, but yeah, when we get to the ZOMGs, it's the same problem that we've been having for a long time, it looks like. So I'm just gonna keep freezing these guys, and I need to buy some other towers. So 95 is next. I'm gonna buy 2 sabos just because 1 sabo, I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough, and we kind of want to have, if I want to have 100% sabo uptime, actually I'm gonna need to buy 3 of these sabos. So let's buy 3 sabos now just to kind of guarantee 100% uptime. Let me buy a 240 another ice. This is gonna be to kind of hold DDTs in place, and then I was thinking of buying like at least 1 or 2 more boomers just so we can deal with these mob class balloons like the ZOMGs a little bit better. And let's see if the bunny is gonna be able to beat the DDTs on 95 by itself. So let me use the first sabo. Let's kind of chill a little bit. We do have the snowstorm ability, so it looks like, oh no, let me use the second sabo. I think I'm gonna have to freeze. I'm gonna use the snowstorm first. I'm gonna keep the absolute 0, and it looks like it's getting kind of close. The sabo is still active. We have 1 more because we bought 3, but it feels like we are gonna deal with these guys. Let me use the last sabo. This is getting kind of close, honestly, towards the end. So the DTs have been dealt with, but these mobs have not been touched. Yeah, they've actually not been touched. So let me use the absolute 0, freeze everyone in place. We cut the snowstorm off cooldown, but yeah, we're just keeping them in place now. So these small mobs are not even an issue, it looks like. That's very good. I mean, this bunny, guys, you know what? It's actually looks to be a decent tower. Especially when you give it a lot of support, it seems to be winning by itself. Now, this is one of those rounds. So look at this. There's a million balloons in this round, and this thing is at max power currently. Well, I'm actually not sure how much max power is. I think it's plus 40 damage, and it gets plus 1 damage for every 2,250 RBE. So I feel like there's more than, what's that, like 90k RBE max? Yeah, I feel like there's more than 90k RBE on this round. So I think this is at max power actually, and this is gonna be at max power around 98 as well. And it cleans out, as usual, it cleans out the small balloons by itself, but then these ZOMGs, they are a little bit of an issue. So let me use the sabo actually for these guys, and let me use the snowstorm as well, kind of keep them all in place. And as soon as, oh, it ran out actually, so the first sabo ran out. Let me use the second one. We're gonna reset all these cooldowns on 97. It's gonna be 2 very strong, very beefy ZOMGs. And then, am I using the other sabo? I think we're fine. Yeah, it's actually gonna be fine. And it's round 98, and I think that what we're witnessing right now, and what is basically kind of the name of the game for BT6, is that as long as you have enough stalls and you have enough utility, you have enough support towers, you can pretty much beat Chimps Mode in this game with almost anything. I mean, not that the bunny is kind of weak or anything like that, but this thing has like 1.2 million pops, and it's just not gonna stop. So let me just keep using the sabo. Keep using although this is around 98, and I might have, you know what, let me just not jinx it. Let me just keep using these abilities off cooldown. We have, yeah, we should use 1 more sabo actually. We have the absolute 0 off cooldown as well. It's only 1 boomerang that's holding these guys, so imagine if we bought like more boomerangs. They're gonna pop the ZOMGs by themselves, but let's just wait and see if the Pierce is gonna get overloaded. So this thing is, you can't even see it attack, guys. It's attacking so fast that you can't even, it's just bouncing off of everywhere around the map, but it seems to be clearing everything out. So I'm gonna use 1 more sabo, and then I'm done for this round because I want to save 1 for 99, because those 45 DDs are absolutely gonna be an issue, I think, because there's not much RBE on the next round incoming, so the bonus damage is not gonna be that high, and we're gonna need to keep them in place for a very long time. So I'm actually, oh, you know what, we have 2 sabos up, so let me use 1 more. And round 98, this is the round that made it the furthest, I feel like, out of all of these 90s, but we do take it down. And it's round 99, this is going to be the last round that the bunny is going to be able to beat by itself, because round 100, I don't think it has that much damage. So let me use the sabo, and let me freeze these guys with the snowstorm first. And, oh, you know what, this thing is not popping them. Let me use another sabo. I mean, freeze them in place with the absolute 0. It should pop them now, right? I can't manipulate the targeting on it. I don't think. So I think it just has a targeting of its own, and if it's first all the time, I mean, I need to. Oh my god, 45 DDTs. Need to stun again, and I need to stun again because there's one more DDT left. Please pop it. Come on. Come on, don't do it like this. It's round 99. Yes, there we go. Good job. So it's only the Moabs now, but I feel like we can hold the Moabs in place. We have a Sabo incoming if we need it, but no, it's not going to be needed. Okay, there we go. Round 100 is coming in a second, and I don't think that this thing has enough damage by itself, but it's at 1.4 million pops. So can you do the 2 mega pops with this thing? I don't think so, honestly, but this is very close. This is probably not as close as it gets, but this is really, really close. But let me just see the damage that it does. It's about... what's that, like 50 damage per shot or something like that? So this is definitely not gonna pop the 0mg, but we can, well, you know what, let's call in the big guns for this last round. Let's buy the Carpet of Spikes, which is probably, I don't know, this thing is kind of becoming my favorite tower from this update, just because they gave it a lot of extra damage. And now it does like over double that damage to Moab class Bloons. It's the cheapest and the best solution for these guys. And I like the Spike Storm and the Millipede as well. And there we go. This is the bunny with, let's just check the pops because I'm kind of curious. 010 Buccaneer, we have all of those. But let me check how many pops this thing ended the game with. So it's 1.4.5 million pops with the bunny rabbit. We didn't place any other DPS towers from Geraldo, so it's just the bunny doing 1.4 million, and it started doing its pops around 63. So you know what, I'll take it. I mean, that was an absolutely amazing run. These other guys that did do some decent amount of damage. The Boomer is at 327, the 420 Bloon Impact is at 176, although it's just mainly keeping these balloons in place. That's what they were basically doing. And then obviously the bad getting popped by the Spike Factory. But that's it. You can actually beat Chimps Mode by using the Killer Rabbit as the main DPS. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was a really fun thing. I don't think I've ever done this with the Killer Rabbit. It's such an unorthodox tower. But there it is. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I will see you all in the next one.